That's Devin Getz, draws the foul. 30 minutes to play. MIT has a history of being productive when they do shoot the ball. And they have been so far today. It might only be the one shot. Could be two. Morton is there. Morton trying to work at a nice shot. Stokes. Stokes wisely put the heavy pressure on Jana Hake. And Hake did not like that call. MIT fans calling for a push on Stokes' part, but Stokes able to draw the foul. And here comes Smith up to Biggs. Stokes is a senior, Biggs is a senior. Biggs trying to run, chooses to go back to Morton. Morton across to Stokes, not small hit. Stokes, Morton, a little bit of mishitting, but finally up to Jacinto, and it runs out of bounds. On the sideline, working it against Stokes. That's Amanda Garofolo. Genevieve back, way back. LaRossi chasing it and draws the foul against Emma Majorsack. Bryn Murray will start that off. In the middle finds Richardson, a nice catch by Richardson. Richardson has possession and it gets stuck in the feet of Megan Flynn. Oh man, that was a great shot in by Bryn Murray, and Jacinto was there, couldn't control it, and it's out of bounds off of MIT, was also there putting pressure on. Pavlov to Stokes. Stokes sends it. And Allie Shepard working it against Jacinto. And MIT ball. Allie Shepard again. Jacinto up front with LaRossi and Richardson. And the ball's out of bounds. Pavlov will start this right off. Smith. Pavlov sends it in. It's off the stick of Laura Chen, and so it'll be Smith ball inside or at the 25. Pavlov again. Pavlov is, again, got to carry it 5 yards before it's inserted in the circle. Oh, man. Come on. Smith's got plenty of opportunities, and now they got to turn one of them into a goal if they're going to continue play this fall. A nice hit up to Liv Parsons in for MIT, but Abby Morton is there. Morton sends it forward. Jacinto can't quite get possession, and it'll be MIT ball on the sideline. This will be Allie Shepard. Shepard tries to give it a ride. Pavlov, a nice clean stop. Pavlov into Richardson. Richardson's got LaRossi on the far side. Richardson goes forward, still got possession. Can't get past Taylor Gray. Nice defensive stop. Swinging him, still be able to get possession. Sends it out wide to that's probably Devin Getz. Getz sends it forward. No, that was Majorsack sends it forward to Getz. I think this is Getz now, I think. Trying to work against Biggs, who draws the foul. Maura McGowan will step up to start this off. 26-28 left to play in this NEWMAC championship game. McGowan across to Shadowin. Shadowin, a small hit over to Stokes. Stokes trying to send it forward. And ball runs out of bounds off Allie Shepard, and Jacinto takes it quickly. Shepard with the stick interference. It'll be Smith ball again. Send it back to Sammy Pavlov. Pavlov sends it down to Jacinto. Jacinto trying to work it, and it'll be Smith ball again. Pavlov's going to take this one deep. He's going to carry it, try to move it 5 yards. Sends it into the circle. Richardson is there, not able to get the shot. Pavlov again, looks to lift it, and that's how she scored that exact shot in Springfield. Against MIT in the double overtime, but it goes wide of the goal this time. And we've got Taylor Gray. Rossi's there putting pressure on. That's good pressure as the ball is forced out of bounds. And it'll be Smith ball on the sideline. Bryn Murray will be there. Murray's going to carry it herself. Working it. Ooh, tries to unload it, but a little bit of a mishit, and it will be Taylor Gray again for MIT. Good idea, as clearly Grace Moore has shown that she's going to stop those balls. Not sure if someone tips it on the way in. And here comes MIT right back at the 50. 24:40 left to play. I think that's major sack. And it's a slow mover. McGowan's going to have to, it is going to go out of bounds. Babson is sitting at home or maybe watching. They're waiting. They've been nationally ranked all season and hoping for an at-large bid to the NC2A tournament. Those seedings will happen on Sunday night. And the winner of this game will get an automatic bid into the NC2As. MIT is ahead, as you can see, 1-0, 24 left to play. I think this is major sack for MIT, is going to send it in. Biggs is there. She's on the move, got Ballou with her. Dumps it for Ballou. Ballou's got Jacinto, but chooses to go back towards Biggs. They draw the foul. Biggs sends it over to Pavlov, gentle pass. Got Jacinto in the corner, and it's knocked out of bounds by heavy pressure by Laura Chen. Pavlov tries to give it a ride, but again, Taylor Gray is there. Out to Maura McGowan, will collect it for Smith. Gonna dump it back in. LaRossi's there. LaRossi inside the circle. Jacinto's got a shot. She's there. Nice save by Moore. And the ref had to think twice, but calls the corner. It'll be Smith's first corner. Hopefully they can do something with it. Haven't been incredibly productive this season off their corners, but they do have a few scores, and they'll hope for one here. As Maura McGowan often takes the hits out, she goes and collects the ball. As I said earlier, Smith beat Springfield College in overtime, which is putting them here this afternoon. McGowan will take this hit out. Got Pavlov up top. Pavlov will stop it. Sends it over to LaRossi. LaRossi, nice defense. I'm not sure, the diving play. That was nice defense by Bailey Tregoning. Nope, sorry, that was Devin Getz. Well played. Taylor Gray. The nice play by Bryn Murray, who gets control from, I think that was Getz on the far side. Over to Pavlov. Pavlov able to draw the foul as Laura Chen gets tangled. So the weather's turned cold as it's gotten drier here. Pavlov gives it a ride, tipped off of MIT. Grace Moore is going to play this, and Ballou's got it inside the circle, dumps it back in. No one there to handle it. LaRossi tries to go for it out of bounds off of MIT. Smith definitely needs to try to touch this ball on the way in. Grace Moore is a great goalie and showing that here today with plenty of saves. Abby Morton trying to work it. She's in the circle, unloads a reverse stick, shot. Moore makes the save. Got to have at least 10 or 12 on the day so far. Bryn Murray goes all the way back to Biggs. Biggs over to Stokes. Stokes sends it up to Pavlov. Gets tangled, and then now it's right back out. But Biggs is there, steps up. She's got possession. Oh, Taylor Gray makes a beautiful defensive stop. Double team by Ballou, but draws a foul. That's Megan Flynn in the middle. Unloads it all the way back to Shadowin. Shadowing over to Maura McGowan. Too bad. Murray not quite ready for it. And here comes, could be Devin Getz. Foul outside the circle. Shadowin will take this. Shadowin over to Stokes. Stokes up to Biggs, a beautiful pass. Biggs in the middle trying to work it against Megan Flynn. Flynn with the push, Biggs draws a foul. Sammy Pavlov unloads it. It's tipped by MIT, so they'll have to play it. Could have been a stick interference there, but Jacinto still chasing down Taylor Gray deep into the corner. Taylor Gray's got some nice stick work, gets out of that one. A nice little lift, but Biggs is there working against. Biggs sends it across. Jacinto gets stuck in her feet, and it'll be MIT's ball. Across to Major Sack. Dragoning tries to, and on the run, just Shadowin to beat. Abby Morton is there. Liv Parsons not able to, no. Laura Chen working against Pavlov. Chen, unsure what to do, but finally gets rid of it. Biggs is there to pick it off, but it goes all the way across to MIT, but Biggs chasing it down. Devin Getz working against LaRossi, Biggs, and Ballou. Biggs got possession now. Goes back to Anna, it's back to Bryn Murray. Sends a long ball, but it runs out of bounds. MIT at the 25. It's probably Major Sack over there. Brings it in for MIT. Finds, not sure what the ref called on that. Man, maybe they hit her feet. Bryn Murray's got put, we're going to take this hit. Goes back all the way across to Stokes. Reagan Stokes carries it up. She's at the 40. Under pressure, beautiful pressure by MIT's Liv Parsons. And MIT gets the ball. It'll be Laura Chen. Smith, though, chases it down. Biggs chases it down, but runs out of bounds. Ran up Sammy Pavlov's stick, so Laura Chen will start it off right away into Biggs' feet, and it'll be MIT ball. 17-25, lots of game left, a 1-0 game. MIT off the one goal in the first half by Getz, deep into the corner. I think Liv Parsons is there, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Smith ball at the 16. Beatrice Shadowin. Over to McGowan. Major Sack working against LaRossi. Abby Morton is there, who pulled it back and pushed from behind by Amanda Garofolo. Morton's ball. Morton will carry it. Tries to get it through the middle. Where's the 5 yards? I'm not sure, but here comes Jenna Hake. Morton pushing back with the pressure. Hake gets it off. Beatrice Shadowin steps up. Gets chasing this down. More McGowan. Fortunately, it runs out of bounds. Major Sack will start this at the 25. Sends it in towards a circle, but Bryn Murray is there. Nice defense. Gets out of traffic. Ooh, but chased down by Emily Genevieve, and Biggs is there to help out. Might have been a stick interference. Emily Genevieve will start it off again. All the way back, further back, all the way to Taylor Gray. Gray back to Major Sack. LaRossi's there putting pressure on, gets a stick on it. I don't know what the ref called that time, but who am I to say? You can can hear the wind. Major sack inside, and it's going to run out of bounds. Beatrice Shadowin calling for the ball. Shout out to Bryn Murray's sister Erin and Jordan watching in New York City. Shadowin tries to give it a ride, but stopped nicely by Getz. Abby Morton picks it off cleanly in the center. There's the body. 15, that's Jenna Hake. Ref's gonna. That's a Smith hit. Timeout called by Smith.
Timeout, Smith.
15:07 left to play. And here we go, back at it, up to Richardson, under great defensive pressure by MIT's Jean Harabinian, but back to Morton. Abby Morton from Michigan. And Sammy Pavlov able to draw the foul. 14:34 left to play. Pavlov sends it up to Ballou, who is not able to get a stick on it, and it's going to run out of bounds. It'll be MIT ball. Whichever team loses today, this is it for their seniors, and the winner will move on to NC2A tournament. MIT up to maybe Tregoning on the far side. Shadowin puts the stop on it. Shadowin to Pavlov, but stepping up nicely is Laura Chen. She's done that all game. Chen's got the ball. Tries to give it a ride. And Shadowin comes up big again. Bouncing ball stopped nicely by Megan Flynn. Smith got to go to the ball here. If they want to make it happen, they got to start going to the ball. And we'll see if they can step up after that timeout. 13:35. Certainly plenty of time to make things happen in this game. Shadowin chooses to come across to Stokes. Stokes working it against. That's Amanda Garofolo. And now Laura Chen's got the ball, finds Garofolo. Stokes is there. Garofolo turns. Pavlov was there. And their sticks got tangled. Stokes with the ball. Is going to send it. Gets through, and there's LaRossi. Let's see some speed. LaRossi's got the speed, and she's heading up the sideline. There's some stick interference. She makes the turn, sends it in, and Neva Richardson is there. And the ref calls it the other way. Nice defensive stand by Jeannie Harabedian. Pavlov is there, gets possession at the 20, at the 30, finds Ballou, a bouncing ball again. Yikes, one of these got to turn and fall, but MIT is doing a great job defensively in the backfield, led by Taylor Gray. Certainly in the goalie, Grace Moore. There's Richardson again. Keeps it on a stick, nice drop pass to Pavlov. Pavlov trying to get it up to Ballou. Ballou is being double teamed, or being watched very closely by Lucy Kitch-Peck. Pretty well face guarding her, and made it difficult for Ballou to unleash her scoring ability. Wait, what? Oh, I missed that, but anyway, I think that's a foul for going too close or moving the ball after the play. Out goes, I think that's number 8. Jeannie Harabedian for MIT. Probably a 2-minute foul. Yep, that's what it is. Pavlov's got the ball. She goes deep to the corner. Sends it. It's a lift off of MIT's stick, so the referee will let this go, but Richardson can't turn it, and MIT right back out. Stokes stops it. Stokes got Pavlov. chooses to send it in. Richardson is there, catches it cleanly. Come on, Richardson, go forward. And MIT right back at it. Biggs tries to step up, but picked off nicely by, or collected by Hake. And it's going to be, I think that's Genevieve on the far side, but one more time. Beatrice Shadowin puts the stop on it. 17, or that's 11, 11:05 left in the game. Shadowin's across to Stokes. Stokes tried to find Richardson, but Richardson is covered very closely by Laura Chen. Great pick off. Here comes Jeannie Hake. Ball bounces back. Hake's got it again. Big steps up and causes stick interference. Sends it in. It's on the stick of Garofalo, I think. Foul's finally called as those must have been an obstruction. Out to Richardson. Richardson still has possession. Get rid of it. Here we go. She's still got possession. Well done. Working hard. Finally lends it over to LaRossi. LaRossi at the circle's edge. Trying to get a shot. Turn. Makes a turn. She's there. Gonna center it. Turns back. Oh, Biggs can't collect it, but Abby Morton is there. Sends it back to Stokes. Hopefully sends it right back in. And Stokes again is going to let it rip. This time Richardson comes back for it. Nice job. And Ballou is inside the circle. Get rid of it. Looking to shoot it. LaRossi's there, but gets tangled up in the feet of Smith. And again, MIT doing a great job defensively. Marking Smith very closely. And Taylor Gray will start this off. They've had their chances, Smith has, but again, the defense is right on their sticks, doing a great job. But LaRossi picks it off here. She's on the move. Got Ballou in front of her. Ann Richardson just can't get a stick on it. Too bad. It'll be MIT ball at the sideline. Richardson is there. This is going to go into her feet. MIT again. And Richardson's back full strength. MIT is back full strength. Biggs get called for the foul. As she and Getz both went down. Wait, what? I missed that. Biggs going out for the foul. Not sure why. Didn't see it. I didn't see it. And so 24, Megan Flynn will start this off. MIT on the move. As I've always said, extra player is one down. Here comes Maura Gown. She's on the move. Going to step up. But Taylor Gray, again in the backfield for MIT, been very, very strong, matching Shadowin at the far side for Smith. But there's Stokes. Put the stop on it, but collected nicely by Garofalo. Here's Getz. Worked by Morton. Getz gets it in the circle, turns, and a beautiful save by Channy Cornell. It could be her second on the day, maybe third, or could even be her first. But Bryn Murray sends it wide, and LaRossi, must have been tipped by MIT. LaRossi takes it right away. There's Morton, sends it forward. Richardson is there. Richardson's trying to find Ballou. She's got Ballou. Ballou's ahead inside the circle, sends it across. What? And not able to send it home. That was right across the mouth in front of Richardson. I'm sure she wants that one back. But here comes Taylor Gray. Cross to Laura Chen. Morton is there. It's unreal. Here comes Devin Getz sends it across. It's going to make it all the way over and just goes off the end line. It'll be Smith ball at the 16. 6:38. Penalty is almost over. Biggs going to go back onto the field. Smith will be at full strength. Here they go. It's on an MIT stick, but whoa. Beatrice Shadowin comes up with it to get control of that situation. MIT right back at it. Biggs is there, puts the stop on. She's going to get a head of steam. Here she comes. That's her way. Heading up, got Richardson. Sends it over to Richardson, who goes back to Biggs. Biggs is headed. And again, Gray does a nice job. She has been there all night, Taylor Gray, all afternoon. Goes down. Biggs got the ball. She's heading inside the circle. A nice defense by Majorsack. Biggs again. Oh, and it's going to be Chen. Runs out of bounds. It'll be Smith ball. You can hear the fans. They're in my ear too. And it's out of bounds. Just can't seem to get to the mouth and finish it off. Smith has had way more than their chances. But Taylor Gray and the rest of her defense, including their goalie, Grace Moore, has done a great job. MIT's going to call timeout. Not afraid of overtime. Having gotten here, both games were overtime against Mount Holyoke and overtime against Springfield. So they're ramped up. The fans are ready. The team looks like they're ready. And hopefully they can get one to drop. The weather has turned very cold. And MIT gets to start this off as they called the timeout. And as you can see, it's 1-0. First half goal by Getz for MIT. Taylor Gray sends it across to Majorsack. Picked off by Bren Murray. Murray goes back to Biggs. Biggs at the 25. Sends it in. It's tipped off MIT. And so it'll be a call just outside the circle. Bren Murray will start this off. Murray's got to carry it 5 yards. Does under pressure. Still got possession, deep in the corner. Murray working it. She's backed in. Gives it a ride, and it's out of bounds. It'll be MIT ball. Taylor Gray. Sends it across to Harabedian, back to Gray. Up to Megan Flynn, who gets it wide out to Getz. Getz is on the move. Done that nicely up the sideline, but Maura McGowan catches the pass. McGowan, unfortunately, the ball looks like it just went off the sideline, and it'll be MIT ball at the 40. 3:35 left. Time is definitely running down at this point, but there's time to get a goal. Smith hoping to tie it up. Picked off by Murray. Can't get the hit off cleanly. Devin Getz has possession. Both teams worked very hard this afternoon. Looks like some of them might be running out of gas. Here comes LaRossi chasing down Megan Flynn. And Anna Ballou gets the ball. Got Richardson. It's a bouncing ball. Here goes Richardson. Laura Chen chased it down for MIT. She's been strong for them all day. Richardson trying to get the ball back. Biggs in the middle, slows it down enough for Delilah Stevens to pick it off. And Shadowin gets the call. Shadowin gets possession. She's headed up past the 50. Got Richardson. Richardson's gets into trouble. Ref calls it the other way. Taylor Gray sends it back. 2:22 left to play. Not much time left. MIT would love to finish it off. Stop, dead stop by Maura McGowan. McGowan comes forward, finds corner. Fans are going wild. And that looked like it could have been a takedown, which the referee recognized on Anna Ballou and goes right to the corner, even though the players were not inside the circle. Smith needs to get a shot off here and wrap it up to get the tie. There's 1:42 left to play, and the fans certainly are trying to help the ball go in. And here we go out to Shadowin. Shadowin's going to carry it up, drops to Pavlov. Pavlov unloads it, and it's in. That's the one they've been waiting for all day. The house is rocking now. Unbelievable. And so here comes Rocky. That's Pavlov's song. Oh, and there's a rainbow in the sky. And just in the nick of time, can't see it, of course. It's not on your screen, but just past the soccer field here in Northampton, Mass, there is a rainbow, as Smith just tied the game with 1:22 left. But watch out, MIT is going to come right back at him. And so it goes deep to McGowan, who started that play off.
Scored by number 20,
See Pavlov on a beautiful assist from Shadowin. And Richardson's got it again. She's had her chances, and she's headed up front. Would love to finish it off right here. 1 minute left to play. Here comes Richardson again. 5 yards, and we're going to send someone out. So it's going to be a 2-minute penalty. It seems they've been doing that. It seems, who is that? Number 7, Laura Chen, is going to be sent out for 2 minutes. That will carry over into. There's Ballou. Oh my God, a great shot. Good try. And it goes wide of the goal. Nice try with 40 seconds left. Anna Ballou tries to finish the game right there. Not able to pull it off, but watch out, there's time. Maura McGowan tries to make a stop. Referee blew the whistle, is gonna back it up. 29 seconds left. Devin Getz sends it in. Shadowin is there. Oh, Chani Cornell comes up with a huge save. And it's out of bounds off of Smith. Huge save. Parents down in Texas ought to be happy about that one. And here comes MIT. Big steps up. MIT sends it in again, but Shadowin is there to stop it. 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left in regulation. We will go into overtime, and here goes LaRossi. That's it, overtime. Stay tuned. We'll have a 5-minute break, and then there will be a 10-minute overtime, which is sudden victory. And
1-1.
As I said, Smith is no.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our halftime interview series. I am your host, Sammy Pavlov, recent graduate of Smith College and field hockey player, and I am so excited and honored to have with us emergency medicine physician at New York Presbyterian Medical Center, on the front lines treating COVID-19 patients, Dr. Trudy Cloyd.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
We are so honored to have you, and thank you for making time. I know you must be extremely busy. And I also want to say we are so excited to have a fellow Smithy and fellow Smith field hockey player with us. Thank you. For
definitely.
Some SCFH love. I love to see it. So that's what we're going to start with, your experience at Smith, before we talk about, the work you've been doing. So what brought you from Texas to Northampton? And
What brought me from Texas to Northampton? Well, I did a little segue over Massachusetts for boarding school. So in reality, I was just heading westward.
Okay.
So so I left Texas when I was like 14 and went off to boarding school. So I had already kind of left the South behind, so to speak, and had actually been up in New England for 3 years before coming over to Smith. So in reality, it wasn't that far of a jump for me. I loved Massachusetts. I loved Western Mass. Smith was like my love from the beginning, and couldn't imagine going anywhere after I saw it. And I'm glad that I got to go there, and I had a phenomenal experience.
Oh, that is, well, it wasn't that big of a move then, right in New England. And, you know, can you talk about your studies and your experience on the field hockey team?
Yeah, so I studied biology. I did I guess I majored in biological sciences and did a thesis in that. And I played field hockey all 4 years, and I was captain my 4th year.
Oh,
And
yes.
I loved field hockey. I would have played it all year long if I could.
You and me both. Any memories sticking out about, you know, from the field hockey team? Any competition memories that you think back on?
Well, my favorite story about my time in field hockey that I love telling people is that I broke my thumb when I was playing field hockey.
Me
And
too.
I got my cast molded to my stick so that I could keep playing. So then I was playing with like this gargantuan cast on it because they made me like put so much padding on it so that if I like, you know, accidentally check somebody, their face would be okay. But the thing was that I was in so much pain. Like every time I would like go and like drive the ball, it'd be like shooting pain at my arm, and I would have like, you know, like spontaneous tears just coming from my eyes. Like I wasn't crying. It just happened. I couldn't stop it. And I remember there was like a defender that was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. This is awesome."
The same thing happened to me. I broke my thumb playing field hockey, and it hurt to drive the ball because
Totally, it was insane.
we are the same person basically.
Totally.
Only I'm not a doctor, and I didn't study biology, but that is hilarious.
And it was super early in the year too, and I was like, I'm not losing my whole season. Like that's completely out of the question. So I showed up at the orthopedic like follow-up office, and I was like, "Here's my stick. Have fun."
Oh man, I would love to see some photos of that. That is
Some
incredible.
of my favorite field hockey photos are when I've got that like huge arm cast on. I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
We have to pull them up for this interview. But wow. So after, can you talk about your experience, or, you know, what made you go into the field, and, you know, what was your experience after Smith?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like, so what put me into emergency medicine more than anything was the fact that it was a team-like mentality. So that was medicine as a whole. I think when I first went into it, I was just super almost like disappointed by how hierarchical it was. And it really bothered me. But emergency medicine was one of those few fields that felt really protected by that. And you had this great camaraderie with your nurses and with your techs and with everybody, because if something needed to be done, it needed to be done. And no one was going to look at you and say, I can't do it. So in a way, I felt like it was like I found my people. I think when I started medicine as a whole, I did all these rotations and kind of went around the hospital like that book that's like, Are You My Mother? And I was like, are you my people? Are you my people? And every time I did a rotation, I was like, I guess I could do this. I guess I could do this. And then I finally had my emergency medicine rotation, and it was in the county hospital, and I showed up, and my attendings were in like Carhartts and scrub tops, and I was like, I have found my people. And this is where I need to be. I was like, my people are here. And then the rest was history. And then I loved it.
Wow. And with the pandemic, you have to have so much stamina, you know, wearing all that PPE and like long shifts. Do you think being an athlete has helped you, you know, your physicality?
100%. And I think that I've always taken so much, I think, of like my sports background into my current field, and just generally how I prepare for shifts, because EM is it's an intense field, and part of why there's a lot of burnout in it. You don't often get time for meals. You don't often get the pee breaks that you think that you're going to get. And so in a way, it's like there's this huge like mental preparation and physical preparation that goes in before any shift. And then when we were in the middle of the pandemic, that just amplified it, because basically then you're all in all of this PPE, the personal protective equipment, and the most dangerous part of that stuff is taking it off. So you really want to have it on for as long as possible, and then try to time like maybe one break that's going to happen, ideally, hopefully halfway through your shift, where you're going to like really carefully try to take everything off. Then you're going to down like 2 liters of water, make yourself miserable for the next 3 hours. But like, that kind of the seriousness with which I approach preparing for my shifts mentally totally came from sport, and how I approached, game days, game weeks, all of the physical and mental preparation that goes in beforehand.
That makes a lot of sense. And Dr. Cloyd, you you're on both ends. You are treating COVID-19 patients and you also had COVID. Can you talk about both of those experiences and how that's been affecting how you treat patients?
So how I treat patients, that's very broad.
After having COVID, does it help you sympathize more?
Yeah, totally. So I had a really rough run of COVID. I don't know why. I think there's a lot that we still don't understand about the disease and why some people get so sick and other people don't. I think there's like some postulation that maybe it has something to do with like the amount of viral inoculation that you get. I always joke that I must have like licked my patient because I don't understand how I got so bloody sick. Of the 15 different symptoms, I had like all of them and I was miserable.
Wow.
And I think that gave me a lot of understanding and a lot of empathy for what people were going through, because we had to send so many people home just because of how overwhelmed the healthcare system was in New York. So people that normally would have been admitted to the hospital were being sent home. And there was a lot of fear behind that because people were afraid they were going to go home and die, and we were doing our best risk analysis of who was too sick and needed to come in and also who we thought was safe enough to go home. But being able to sit there and explain to people that, even the healthy ones, like you don't have enough risk to come into the hospital, but I can understand why you think you're dying, because I also sat in a bed for like 2 weeks and thought I was dying. So I think, in the whole of the pandemic and the fact that it was a novel, disease, it was scary across the board. It was scary for us as providers. It was scary for us to imagine affecting ourselves and our families. It was scary for everybody because no one understood how it was transmitted in the beginning. Do you remember that? It was like droplet, airborne, wear this, don't wear that, don't wear masks, wear N95s. I mean, it was just like everybody was terrified, and I think being able to sit there and, normally they tell us like patients don't want to hear about you. Like they don't want to know what problems you've had as a doctor. Like you might think it helps, but it doesn't usually help. But in this case, I thought was like probably the one exception where I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been there and I have gone through it, and it's going to be like a 3 to 4 week process. So give yourself some time. And these are the things to look at.
And you have a family, and what was that like with your wife? And you have a daughter, correct?
Yeah, I have a daughter.
What was that like having COVID? Also, just being on the front lines and having a family being in the epicenter. How have you been dealing with that?
I think I felt really fortunate initially that I didn't have any elderly people in my life. That was a big thing for a lot of my colleagues, was that they had like their parents that were taking care of the kids. And that was like a super tough situation, because then you basically sent away your kids and you really can't see them at all. Whereas I sent them away. So my brother actually was patient 0 or patient 1 in Massachusetts, because he's awesome. So I was like, all right, I can send them there. Like you've all already had it. And my wife and my daughter are likely to become symptomatic. Fortunately, they never did. But like, you can't just send them to anybody, because they're like, I've been hanging out with them for the last few weeks, and the likelihood that they were going to start shedding the virus and be old themselves was quite high. But I sent them away. But then the good thing was that like after those 2 weeks were done, after like my quarantine isolation period was done, and theirs was too, because you had to consider that they had a really high risk exposure, then I could drive to Massachusetts and go see them. So that was really nice. So they were away, and that sucked, don't get me wrong, but I tried to focus on being fortunate that at least I could go see them, as opposed to other people that were like, I had a shift 3 days ago, I can't go see my kids and my parents because they're in their like 70s or something. So it was I don't know, the whole pandemic was so hard on everybody in so many different ways that I was like, you just had to focus on like, what are the little good things that you have here that you can hold on to, because it's stressing and straining everybody. So find something.
And Dr. Floyd, can you talk more about any silver linings you're feeling? It must be really hard to stay positive, things that you do for your own mental health and just in general. Any silver linings during this pandemic?
Yeah, I know. I saw that and I was like, it's really hard to find silver linings in the middle of a pandemic. I think that I was, again, trying to focus on the positives. I was really fortunate in the fact that I became good friends with people that lived in my building. And New York City is like very weird, because you would think that people know their neighbors, but nobody knows their neighbors. And I always blame this on my like southern roots, but like it's baffling to me and it still gets me all fired up. But like the fact that I would go up there and they weren't afraid of me, which was amazing. I still like love them to the end of the earth for that. But they were retired security people from the UN. They had seen absolutely horrible things. And I just needed to come up and I needed to curse and vent and cry and rant and be like, I can't see another dead body. Like I'm done, you know? And I think that gave me so much of an outlet, because the thing is that we all lost our ability, our stress relief, you know, all the things we did for fun, go to the gym, go lifting, go out with friends, go to movies, like all the stuff you did to like cope was taken away from everybody, you know? And so I think that I like to think that they single-handedly like got me through it, because the fact that I had that outlet made so much of a difference for me. And then I think in terms of, you asked like, how did I mentally like keep it together? I mean, my biggest thing is that I went back to yoga. So ironically, I had to refocus on breathing again because I couldn't breathe after COVID for like another like 3 weeks. So I was like, good, restorative yoga. That's about where I'm at. Like, you know, I'm gonna just focus on filling my lungs and exhaling again, because that seems to be challenging. You know, and a lot of people were pushing like, oh, mindfulness and meditation, and I've tried that stuff, especially given just like the inherent challenges that are in emergency medicine, but I'm like totally just not a meditator. But I was like, yeah, restorative yoga is like right there in the middle. You know, I can spend time in poses for longer periods of time and feel my stress and focus on relieving and releasing my stress. And then as I started getting more active, I got back into running, because I was like, I got to get these lungs back. I'm a runner. So, you know, like we got to get back up, because that's my stress relief. And if I can't run, there's going to be problems. So fortunately, I'm running again.
That's good. You know, first yoga, then running, but I'm glad to hear that you are fully healthy and able to run. That is so great. And I guess I want to ask any advice you have. I think, you know, back in March, the fear of the pandemic was so high. And now we're kind of seeing the opposite as states are reopening, that you know, less caution being taken. Any advice you have to people who are not feeling as cautious as before? It must be very frustrating for you to see, you must see it, that, you know, the pandemic is still happening.
I know.
Do you have any
Public health leadership is not my thing. I think I've been very disappointed on the most part for how humans just cannot handle threats they can't see. I have most of my family back in Texas, and they still tell me that a mask is a political thing, and it's you know, they don't want to wear them because it's making a statement about their political beliefs. And I'm just like,
yeah.
I was a huge proponent of masks with my whole family. I was like, it's just gonna be this big thing on your face that's gonna make you not touch your eyes or rub your nose or this on the other. And I'm always saying, like, I've spent my entire like career focusing on not touching my head and face when I'm at work, because I have a shitty immune system. I have a bad immune system. And I was like, and even years of focusing on this, I probably break it like once a shift. I'll notice I like rub my nose or something, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, there's illness all around you, and unless you want to be hurling your guts out for the next 48 hours, don't touch your face, you know? And I was like, there's no way your average person can just suddenly stop touching your face. And I was like, if you wear a mask, you will have something on your face that will make you more aware of it. You know, and I was like, that, and like wash your hands when you come inside, and like be vigilant about things. But it's so hard to get people to buy into it when they haven't seen anybody die from it. And there's almost something about the way COVID played out as being such an infectious virus, and the fact that no one could come into the emergency departments and be with their loved ones. It was like no one really saw it, you know, and so it was just us, just the doctors that were in there seeing all of the suffering. And I'm just like, in a way, I was like, it's almost like you needed cameras inside the hospital. So it's like, this is actually what it does to people, and no one's seeing it. So it's staying this very conceptual threat, and it's still here. And I think we're maybe, well, I don't know. My original calculations were that it was going to be a lull over the summer, but that's clearly not happening.
Yeah.
Like, take that back. This is why I'm not in public health. But yes, I just still wearing masks, still using hand sanitizer, the same basic stuff. Think about the people that you love that are older, and be really, really, really conscious about how you see them and what sort of risk you expose them to. just because it's a real thing. It's a real mortality risk for older individuals, and it's something that shouldn't be taken lightly.
And Dr. Floyd, I think I'll end on that. That advice is so important for our viewers to hear, and to hear from someone on the front lines that has sacrificed so much. I can't thank you enough. And I hope that everyone watching takes your advice to heart. As a fellow field hockey player and Smith alum, it is so great to have such a great role model right on the front lines. And I can't thank you enough for the work you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you again.
Yes, and enjoy the game.
All right, Smith is ready to go. 41 seconds till we've in the 5-minute break. And as I said, Smith is set and ready to go. The usual suspects out there for the overtime. That'll be Shadowin in the backfield and supported by McGowan and Pavlov. Biggs in the middle, and we'll have Ballou and Richardson up front. And hoping to get in on Grace Moore and make a shot that they can dump in. Grace Moore has done a great job for MIT. You probably got the stats, live stats. I can't see them, but I'm guessing she's had 15 saves this game. And Jenny Cornell just came up with a huge save in the backfield just then with about 20 seconds left to play. That was a really important save. Might be her 4th or 5th on the day. Shout out to Buffy and Blair down there in Arlington, Texas. I'm sure they're excited. And so we do have, Smith has, I think it's 7 seniors. Unfortunately, Iko Jakowski and Bailey Bogan are out with injuries, 2 seniors. And Maddie Hubbard is a senior along with Biggs, Shadowin, and Stokes. Biggs and Shadowin are out there in the overtime. And MIT's lined up. They're starting with the ball. Grace Moore getting into the goal ready. Referee's signaling, and we're set to go. This will be Garofolo, sends it back to 24, Megan Flynn. Flynn back across to, I think that's Major Sack. Up front, Pavlov up front with Arossi. Arossi trying to put pressure on, but it gets all the way across to, I think that's Megan Flynn. Back to Ballou, who's playing a little bit backer than she sometimes does. And to Biggs, it got tangled up both in Ballou and Biggs' feet. And so it's going to be MIT ball at the 25. This is Jeannie Harabedian who's going to start it off. Ballou and Pavlov looking to control it, and Harabedian goes back to Major Sack. I think that's not Major Sack. Sorry. Back to Harabedian. Oh, it is. That's Emma Major Sack, sorry. And Biggs is there, makes a stop, but Taylor Flynn, a lifted ball. Where's the call on that? How is that lifted ball not called? Not sure anyway. It dropped down and it gets turned into a corner for MIT. 8:40. There's certainly plenty of time left to play in the overtime. And we do play a second one if it remains all tied up, as it did for Smith against Springfield on Thursday night. So back on defense is Biggs and Pavlov. Shadowin and Chaney Cornell in the goal. Major Sack sends it out. Got control. Biggs is there. Makes a swing. And that's going to be in. That'll be it. Great game by MIT. And wait, what? Not a goal? Wait, what did I just miss? I thought that was a goal. Okay, take that back. I don't know what just happened. Whoa, sorry about that. And it's off of Larassi's stick. It'll be MIT ball. I do not know what just happened, but I missed it. And here comes Major Sack. Pressure by Larassi. Pokes it. It's going to be poked way back. This is off an MIT stick, I think. And Oh, that's unreal. Unreal. That's a tough play for Jean Harabinian, I think. Too bad. But great hustle by Alex LaRossi. I think that's LaRossi's 8th goal in the season and the big one right here. As the fans empty the field, Smith pulls it off in overtime. 7:25 in the overtime to finish it off. Great job, Alex LaRossi.